And you can help, though. You can help in this cause. We got that $200,000 match. You can donate with Facebook. They're matching as well. You can go to fshdsociety.org and donate there direct. Our sponsors, always thanking them, Perkin Elmer, Fulcrum Therapeutics, and Dyne Therapeutics, which is a perfect segue to what is going to be our next guest, is Molly White of Dyne Therapeutics. And the chime says that we're efforting Molly in right now. All the little tones, it feels like we're in a game show sometimes, and it's fun. There she is.
There I are.
That's it. You are taking it home right here. You are the last.
And no one is happier about that than you are, sir.
A little bit. I mean, man, I gotta go to work tomorrow, bro. Come on. I mean,
oh, you're exhausted. You've had a huge day.
Tired. Me and Lee. Lee is back there. She's out there somewhere, and she's producing away and making sure everything is going seamlessly, which it always does. I don't think the electronic gremlins come to her house at all. I think they only come to mine. So this is good.
You've had a great day. It seems like it's been a really great day. And, as usual, my hat is off to you. I don't know how you do this for hours and hours on end and stay so incredibly scintillating and interesting, but well done, sir. Again.
Oh, that's great. Thank you. Thank you. Yes. Well, I try, but this was a little, dare I say it, easier. The pace was a little easier. We had, an hour here, a break, an hour there. So
good.
Hours did make it manageable, but I got a feeling, just like I was telling Jamsheed earlier in this hour, that I think some people like to watch the can he do it. I don't want to say the suffering, but more like the, there's an entertaining value to if he can lose his mind and just start talking about stuff because he's hysterical and dehydrated or something. So there might be that element missing. And
that's probably okay, right?
Yeah. But I will do it again. I will do the more marathon-y style if I have to. If it means more money, you're darn right. I'll do it. So Molly, thanks for being here.
Always.
It's chatting with you is like chatting with an old friend that I've never met face to face though. But it's exciting that I saw your name on the docket of people that were going to be joining us. It's been a while since we chatted, and I'm excited to hear about what you're up to with Dyne Therapeutics. Which thank you for being a sponsor of this program. Each and every program, Dyne is involved. So thank you for that.
Absolutely. I have to say it's our pleasure and it's an honor to get to work with you guys. And I was chatting with June Kinoshita earlier, and she mentioned that the theme of this year's Radiothon is extraordinary measures. And I love that title because I think, as somebody who ran a patient advocacy organization myself for 8 years, I know how critically important the work is that FSHD Society does, both from the side of the table of someone who did a lot of similar work, and from the side of the table of someone in industry who relies on the work that FSHD Society does in a lot of different areas. We have recently created a new grant to FSHD Society to support the genetic testing effort, which is incredibly important, I think, to the community and to us. We support a number of other initiatives in the organization. We rely on really important conferences like the FSHD IRC every year. We're really excited about Connect again next year. It has been an outstanding way for us to meet people in the FSHD community that help us really understand the disease and the disease burden and what a clinically meaningful therapy would look like. So, we just can't do the work that we do in the way that we're committed to doing it, which is very patient focused, without partners like FSHD Society. So, I think it's great that you're doing this. These are fun. I love talking to you all the time anyway. And I'm delighted to have the opportunity to support the work because I know how important it is from a variety of different vantage points.
Yeah, because that's always what I've been impressed with Dyne, is that it's about the patient. Like, you put them in the front, right? It's not just the science. It's like, well, what's the science for? I try to live this, we before me kind of mindset when I'm doing decisions, if it's with my family or with the teams I coach. And then I try to teach that to the kids I coach too. And that's kind of what Dyne does, isn't it? You're kind of putting the we before, the people are the we before the science of it all. And I think that's just fascinating. It's a good approach.
It's incredibly important. You know, I was talking with someone, I was interviewed for something else a few months ago, and I was reminiscing on the fact that back in the day, companies would create drugs without ever having interacted with someone who's living with the disease that they're targeting. And when you think about that now, when you think about the very significant experiences of some of the people that have been on your call today,
Right.
I was out having dinner with Howard Chabner, one of your board members, and his wife, with my husband a week or so ago. And, you know, really understanding what it's like to live with a progressive disease like this changes the way you think about what a therapy should do. It changes the way you think about how you should design a trial for that person's participation. It changes the way you think about the endpoints and the assessments that you would use. You can't develop a perspective on those kinds of questions in a really meaningful way and in a thoughtful way without actually interacting with the people that you hope to treat with this therapy. So, you know, for us, given how committed we are to patient voice and involving patients in every, you know, step of the development process, you know, it's just incredibly important. And we actually just wrapped up, we've had patient advisory workshops, 2 of them this year, one in Duchenne muscular dystrophy and one in myotonic dystrophy. We had about 10 participants on each call, and we're now preparing to schedule the FSHD call. So, and they're essentially 4-hour workshops where we have a very carefully organized array of questions, both around the design of the protocol, which is, you know, basically the menu or the list of directions for the actual study, the clinical trial. And then for the clinic visit itself, what is it like for someone with FSHD to have to go to a clinic for clinical trial participation? What should that day look like? And all kinds of nuance around what's too early, what's too late, what is an inappropriate assessment, what is too burdensome. And those are the kinds of things we can only get good information on from speaking with, you know, experts in the disease who are the people living with it. So, you know,
Yeah.
we just rely on that information to do a good job at Dyne, and we rely on organizations like FSHD Society to help us make those connections. And I've had a relationship with June, as you know, since about 2012, when I started at the Myotonic Dystrophy Foundation. So we go way back. And, you know, that's how we get things done in this field. We help each other out. It's a, you know, the patient advocacy space, particularly in rare disease, is small, and you get good work done by really pulling in your community. And, you know, the other thing I would say is, I remember when I was at MDF, there was every once in a while, there would be someone in the community that would say, geez, I just don't understand why you guys need all this money. What are you doing with all this money? Do you really have to pay the staff, et cetera? And my answer to that is, you have a progressive chronic illness. And the North Star for all of us with who are focused on or involved in the FSHD community is to find a truly transformative therapy for this disease. The only way to do that is to bring your A game and your A team, and to put together the resources that you need to keep that team in place. And, you know, Fshd and June and all of the team at FSHD Society are really good, and they're really committed, and that's priceless. So I think the support that the FSHD community brings to this organization is critical, and I think it's deserved. I think the organization's deserved it and earned it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, these things aren't going to be done without that.
Nope.
With FSHD Society. That's why it's very important for a day like today. We raise these funds, recognize Giving Tuesday. There's matches out there. There's, you know, to me, it's like, you know, the big coupon. Like, we got to take advantage.
That's right.
How do we raise awareness? How do we get it there? Well, they throw me in front of a camera down inside my basement and say, talk for hours and let's see if we can get some attention.
And it works every time.
Oh, it's great. A question I had is then, you know, talking about patients and keying in on that, and what are important steps that patients can take now to help with, you know, future clinical trials from the Dyne perspective, from your perspective?
Yeah, great question. Well, I think it's important to be in the registries, right? So if you're not already in like the the FSHD registry at the University of Rochester, which is the national registry in the US, and or one of the registries. There are excellent registries in France and other countries. If you're not already signed up for one of those registries, you should get involved. I mean, often when companies go looking for patient communities and they look for places to really target their efforts, they look for places where there is a strong patient community. And the registries are one way to do that research. So I always encourage people to get signed up for the registries. There used to be this rule of thumb that to be really powerful and to really enroll studies, you wanted a patient registry with at least 3,000 people in it. And to my knowledge, we don't currently have one of those yet for FSHD or DM1. I'm pretty sure we do for DMD. So I would say if you're not already signed up, give Robbie Tawil a call at the University of Rochester and get signed up. I also think that all the work that patients that are partnered with the FSHD Society do in terms of advocacy is really important. It helps raise profile on the Hill. It helps drive additional dollars to the National Institutes of Health. And for grant funding for FSHD, there's never too much grant money to drive discovery for a rare disease like this. So I think all of that visibility building and creation of a voice for this community just helps really elevate and accelerate the work. And that's something that only really patients can do. And we've organized, and I know FSHD Society has organized patient trips to the Hill. And it's transformative to watch some of these congressional leadership kind of step out of their day jobs and listen to someone with a disease like FSHD or DMD or DM1 come in and really talk about the impact of the MD Care Act or ADA legislation or some of the things, that we all try to advocate for. So, I think those are a couple of areas where patients can really step up and be leaders in the space. And then I think to the extent that people can support really critical work that organizations like the FSHD Society are doing, that's really important too. Absolutely. And we do it too. I can say that from Dyne's perspective, because we're very committed to supporting FSHD Society.
Oh, absolutely. Totally. I mean, you guys are sponsored.
Mostly just so I can get on your show. They charge me so I can be on your show.
That's like in the contract. Okay, we'll be a sponsor.
We put it in a little rider at the bottom. We hope they won't notice.
I thought it was like handwritten. Was that?
Yes, my handwriting is hard to read.
Oh, it is. It is an amazing and awesome partnership. I mean, we're seeing that. I'm actually seeing that on the Facebook comments. Dyne is an amazing partner. Molly's such a friend of the FSHD community. FSHD Society just posted, how to get on the registry, as you were talking about.
Oh, great. Well done.
A partnership there. Oh yeah, that's not me. That must be June or somebody working on that end. Yeah. And they're doing their magic and they're paying attention. I love it.
Yeah.
So yeah. So when we're walking in now, and I've posed this question to a number of our guests today throughout the day, it's always seems to be in people's minds. We're at the end of 2021. We're going into the next year, and people want to know, what's in store. What are you seeing? What's on the docket? So I guess I pose that question to you in Dyne Therapeutics. Is there things that you can talk about that are exciting down the pipeline?
Yeah. Well, as you guys probably know, so we have 3 INDs, 3 investigational new drug applications to the FDA between, essentially next month and the end of next year. And the first one is obviously going to go out before the end of December. The second one will go out the first quarter of 2022, and those will be DMD and DM1. And then we have announced that we plan to issue an IND for our FSHD therapy in the second half of 2022. So that's definitely traction. We're incredibly excited about it. We have a really strong team in place to drive the FSHD program, some of the best people in the company, I think. And we're getting a lot of traction. So, there's still some sticky wickets with FSHD, as there often are with muscle diseases, rare muscle diseases, figuring out how we're really going to nail down the strategy around a biomarker, understanding which, outcome measures are going to be the most reliable and the least variable. I think there's some questions like that are still outstanding that we want to spend some more time on and finish up our research studies, our drug development studies. But I think, at Dyne, as with a lot of companies in the space now, are getting a lot of traction. And it's great to see diseases like FSHD and myotonic dystrophy that have kind of languished, for decades, really start to see these vertical upticks in investment and enthusiasm and visibility and all that. So we're definitely on that train. We'll have an IND. We plan to have an IND out in the second half of next year. And, I'm looking forward to having the patient advisory workshop with you guys next year, earlier in the year. And then, keeping you guys posted as we have updates.
That's awesome.
It'll be
That's
fun.
awesome. Last question for you is,
Yes.
Giving Tuesday, significance of this day, raising the money. What's your final? Because I told you, you're like, you're the last guest. You're the one that said,
No pressure.
No pressure. That's why I'm kind of making the question really long. I'm giving you time to digest here of what would be your final raw speech for those to, give us that last push donation to close Giving Tuesday.
I would say, we're not going to get there without FSHD Society. We're not. We rely on this organization, all of us in industry, in the patient community, everywhere. And I would say, we're all going to be making some holiday donations for people in honor of people that we care about. And I know many families, like my family, has kind of pivoted away from trying to think of something cool you can put in a box and wrap for someone. And they've moved to experiences and meaningful gifts like donations. And nothing moves my family more than saying, I've made a donation to the food bank or to the FSHD Society or to, whatever it is that's meaningful to that family member in honor of your December holiday gift. That is a more powerful gift for many people, I think, than that shirt they're never going to wear, the socks that aren't that attractive, the toy that they're going to lose and get rid of. I think there's a real double value, both in terms of someone being able to support the FSHD Society and be able to make a gift on behalf of a loved one. That is a really nice opportunity for today. So I would encourage everybody to make a gift.
That's awesome. That was the best, man. That's like a walk-off. Mic drop. Yeah, that's it. Close the shop, close the curtains. Molly did it. Boom. I love the analogy. Absolutely. I mean, how many times we got crappy gifts, people? I mean, right? And you've given them, or you say, I just got to give somebody this. Here's like a jar of Planters peanuts. Like, really? Come on.
As opposed to, you can really build on and you can aggregate all those gifts from the community on a day like on the Radiothon and really have, significant additional impact. It's a great opportunity.
Absolutely. Thank you, Molly, again for joining us and sending us home.
Always my pleasure.
I love it. It's great energy. You always bring it. I appreciate you. Thank you very much. And everything Dyne does for our community. Much appreciated.
Well, and you all have wonderful holidays, and I will see you soon.
Absolutely. Take care. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
That is the excellent Molly White from Dyne Therapeutics, one of the sponsors of the show, along with Perkin Elmer and Fulcrum Therapeutics. Can't do it without them. Great support. Thank you for everybody here on Facebook, by the way. Great comments, timely links posted. Lee, is that you with the timely links?
Some of them might have been me. Yes, they might have been me.
Okay,
Some of them are Allie, who manages all of our social media. So there was one time I think you got it twice, and that's because we both were in there doing it. But it's always a team effort. Always a team effort.
Good. That was those guests all day today, especially the
amazing.
Like those felt like midday energy type guests there at the last hour. I mean,
for sure.
Didn't stop. I love it. That was great. So thanks to June for booking all the guests, Booker of the Year, Producer of the Year, Lee Reynolds, getting it all put in place perfectly. That was great. That was a lot of fun today.
It's been an excellent day, and we have raised, as far as I can tell, again, the Facebook money, 'tis a mystery for now. So we have a couple dozen people that are actively pushing their own personal fundraisers I've seen those numbers tick up throughout the day. we can't see the direct gifts for another, it's like a 24-hour wait before we see those. So we'll know tomorrow. I'll be waking up and checking the reports here in the next day or so, and we'll get information out to everybody. But please continue to give on through midnight. If you're watching this later after the fact, you know, we got a few hours, you can still kick in. And, you know, I know that we're going to be well over $50,000. I'm confident of that based on the numbers where they are now. I just don't know how much, but we got a ways to go on our $200,000 match. And, the amazing thing is everybody can pitch in a little and it all adds up to a lot. So days like today are just like the walk and roll and any of the other grassroots fundraisers that we hold. Everybody has an opportunity to pitch in a little something, you know, and make a very big difference. I think Molly said it, you know, said it perfectly. You can make a real impact, you know, by pitching in what you can.
Absolutely. I mean, it was a perfect analogy with the gift, right? Right
Right.
around the season. Anybody thinking about getting me a gift in my family that happens to be watching this, just donate. Just please to FSHD side. I'm good. I got plenty of socks and stuff. I'm all good.
Right.
You know, just send it that way, because that would be the best gift of all when this cure comes. And then it's a gift that can be shared with everybody in this community and generations to come. I mean, I don't know how you get better gift than that.
Yeah, what a legacy that would be. And I think days like today have shown us anything. It's that there are people from all facets of life, whether it's emotional support, family support, the research, the delivery mechanisms for the therapeutics, the chapter leadership that brings other people in and makes connections. We've had this beautiful, you know, representation today, showing how there's a team of people activating therapeutic development. We're activating the FSHD community, and people are activating their personal strengths. And we sort of started the thing, it's on your shirt. And it's sort of how we started the year was, how do we activate the FSHD community in those areas? And today was a beautiful representation of that. We got to hear from people from all those walks of life. It's that's where it's going to come from, right? It's from all of us bringing what we have, our time, our talent, our treasure, and pitching in what we've got. That's going to make the very real difference. And that's what you have done by starting the radio show. That's what everybody that's on the staff does, you know, every day. And we couldn't do any of it without the ridiculously amazing volunteers all across the country that work tirelessly, bringing everything they have to make a difference. And what's remarkable is they don't do it for themselves, you know, they do it for their family members, for their friends, for others in the community. And when you pour out yourself, you end up getting back way more than you think you're gonna. And it's a little bit of a dark world out there sometimes, right? And we all have an opportunity to push back against the darkness, shine a little light, make a little difference, and pretty awesome thing to be a part of.
It is. It really is. It is. So thank you, everybody. The close up shop, all that were part of this and the inner workings and getting it launched today. Once again, all the sponsorship, all the dollars being raised already, and the ones that will be continued. Great thank you to our donors that are offering that match amount of 200,000.
Absolutely.
Couldn't do it without you. Thank you. That is a great motivator. Yeah, I'm just always blown away. It's gonna take me a while to fall asleep tonight. Be thinking a lot about these conversations and the positive direction that this community is going. It's been a great day. Very, very rewarding. So thank you all.
Thank you, Tim. It's been awesome.
All right. Well, you've been listening to the FSHD Society Radio Show. Giving Tuesday Telethon 2021 in the books. We'll see you next time. Thanks.
That's a wrap.
Take care. That's a wrap.